Hey guys, how's it going? Man, it has been a very long time since I have made a video. Anything prepper related, survival, bushcraft, anything. Things have been super busy out at the cabin and the property, and have been working on, taking a break from the whole guns and tactical gear, shit hits the fan loadout stuff, and have been researching and honing my skills and just going back to my roots on, as a kid, I used to grow up bow hunting, deer hunting my whole life, and sometimes during that, my buddies and I would make these homemade bow and arrows and stuff, and of course, we didn't know what we were doing back then, but they sometimes worked a little too good because we had shot each other in the legs and stuff. So not something I recommend doing for you kids out there, but the mosquitoes here are horrific in Missouri. So without further ado, what I've been working on are finding the correct materials for making a bow, arrows, and the Atlatl and Atlatl darts. This is ash. I have been working on this already a few weeks now. Other pieces of wood, limbs I've gathered, trees, and just in case you're wondering, the ash leaves look something like this. They kind of got the 6 little deals going down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, about 4 or 5 of these on each side, and then the little deal at the end. Kind of an oval shaped leaf, smooth on the sides. The wood is very straight, and there's a small limb there. You can see how straight this stuff is, and it seems pretty easy to work with, which seems to be, I'm guessing that's why the Indians were so big on this. But that's one small limb. This is extremely straight. Literally looks like a little dart there of some kind. If you were to sharpen this, literally sharpen the tip off. Seems like it seems like you can almost make anything out of this stuff. So, I'm trying to get the camera set up right. I apologize. I had a really nice camera stand at my other house, and this is like the off-the-grid scenario here. So we're literally using a laundry basket, a coffee mug, bushcraft books. I got it, I believe, which is my Tops bushcraft knife. Yeah, the Brothers of Bushcraft. Super nice knife. I believe it's Tops is what it's called. Yeah, there it is. The blade is made for bushcrafting. It has the smooth beveled side for gliding right through wood, and it does work extremely well. So this Atlatl dart, which I'm working on here, I mean, this thing is already perfectly straight, and this is ash. I was watching about heating up and straightening these out if they are bent. And of course, the easiest way I found to trim this bark off, again, for somebody who's an amateur at anything, I would never advise drawing a knife towards yourself. It's not safe by any means. If you're sharpening it or doing anything, a lot of people have cut themselves, some people have died. Generally, you want to push away, but again, it's not the first time I've done this stuff, and it seems to me it feels easier, and I've seen some guys do this where you're pulling toward you. Kind of have my thumb on the blade, and I'm kind of using the bottom part of the blade. I'm not just wildly stabbing. So again, I'm actually doing the small, slow, and you just get it under the beginning of the bark there, and it just glides right up like butter. So I'm just gonna do the whole deal there. And I want to get a video of this because I've been doing a lot of work. Been out here sweating, burning up, covered in mosquito bites. I've got scars. There's a mosquito there I just smashed, another one. I mean, these things are horrific in Missouri. I don't know why they've been so bad. I was talking to one of the neighbors out here. There's a couple other people that live out this way, and the mosquitoes have just been horrific. So the reason I am interested in the primitive stuff, survival, living, and weapons, is because something I thought about is I've realized if something ever does happen, even me growing up in the woods and hunting, fishing, camping my whole life, and playing around, making a spear, making a bow and arrow, I haven't done it in years. And when guns and ammo and the stuff to maintain that stuff runs out, if something ever happens, then you're going to be back in the Stone Age. You're going to be back, you're talking stuff like this. So, you know, I was a cop my whole career, retired from it. I went to police sniper school. I did SWAT stuff. I did all the tactical training, room clearing, active shooter training. I've been to and handled about everything you can respond to in law enforcement. I've ran a private investigations firm the last 10 years in the state of Missouri, and I guess for fun, you know, I mean, I'm just an outdoors guy. It's who I am, ultimately. Of course, juggling that with work, paying bills, trying to survive, as you guys know right now, is very tough. I basically have owned and lived in an off-grid cabin for about 9 years. Roughed it many of those years, and through winters, summers, the whole deal. I can tell you that it will make you a much stronger person, mentally, spiritually, physically. It's basically this place. I'll make numerous videos on that if you like, but you can call it a cabin, you can call it an off-grid cabin, tiny home, off-the-grid cabin, whatever you want to call it. But I am no expert by any means on like really any topic. I would say I am on investigations and law enforcement. That's what I do for a living now. Retired police officer, and I'm 47. Started the whole gig when I was 21, straight out of college, and I made a lot of other videos on prepping. I had started up a business as a prepper consultant, actually, and I'd had a few people call me and did type of training for that was actually tactical training. And this primitive deal here, like I'm working on now, is just something I'm intrigued by because it keeps your hands busy, keeps your mind busy. It's kind of like therapy, if you will. It kind of makes you forget about everything else as you're whittling away here, as you know. And this wood is honestly amazing. This ash, I've never dealt with it before, but this stuff is literally perfectly straight. And again, you can heat it up and you can bend that if you need to, and there's videos on that online. Maybe sometime I can make a video and also do it. It looks pretty easy. Of course, everything looks easy, but you could lay this in like boiling water over hot coals or over a fire. You don't want to burn your wood, obviously, and then heat it up to where it becomes soft. And if there's a small bend, like say here, for example, you know, you can bend that wood and you can straighten it out. So you can get a bundle of your limbs and tighten them all together in a bundle once you've heated and straightened them out, to try to keep them straight, a bundle of like 8 or so. After a few weeks, undo them, check them for straightness, heat them up again, make another fire or whatever your heat source is, wood stove or whatever. But I've got some pieces of wood for the Atlatls. Not sure if I'm crazy about those or not yet. The ones for these Atlatl darts here, which are going to be 3 foot long. Total brain fart. Sorry, between the heat and the mosquitoes just lighting me up. I hate bug spray, and so that either makes me tough or crazy, or maybe both. But I just hate spraying myself with tons of chemicals, and unfortunately, I suffer the consequences for that. But I've literally been making the video on this for 20 minutes now, and literally the name of this tree, because I've been trying to remember all these different trees and types of wood, is literally slipped my mind. When you're 47, that's what happens. So I'm gonna just whittle because I've got too much going on apparently in my mind. So talking, doing this, and thinking about what I'm saying next is where you guys know that for you guys that make YouTube videos for a living. The cool thing about me too is I'm one of those shoot straight from the hip guys. I don't write out some video or script. I just, you know, I shoot straight from the heart kind of a deal, and I hope that it just makes sense. So ash, wood, okay, ash. I was literally wanting to say hash again. I don't know why, but definitely not hash. So yeah, ash, very, very strong, very lightweight, has like a flexibility to it. I mean, literally, like you would picture if you literally bought an arrow or a spear from somebody. I mean, if you had a blade made out of steel, or I'm saying if this was an actual spear for jabbing or throwing or protecting yourself, or even throwing at a large game or a person, I would not want to be on the receiving end of this. This thing is extremely wicked. So, and I'm sure the flight characteristics of it are going to be insane once I get it. We're probably going to be talking 3 feet. Let's see. The 2-foot deal for the Atlatl was about like yay big. So I'm guessing this dart then will make it about 3 foot. I mean, I don't think I even have to do anything for this. I'm going to notch it the hole in the back when I get ready. So the Atlatl hook, as you know, it'll hook it, it'll stick into that notch. And then I haven't even gotten to the point yet of making some type of tips. I have not done any of the flint napping, making arrowheads, doing any of that. It looks pretty painful. It looks pretty time consuming, finding the rocks. There are some creeks out here, but I'll be honest with you, I don't know about all that. I don't know if I'm gonna have the kind of time that it would take to go out and find flint, nap it out. I may, I want to make most of my stuff from hand, so I don't really want to purchase anything. So, you know, I do know that some of the Indians later on had started using steel once the settlers, I actually learned this about a couple weeks ago, once the settlers were coming over with their wagons. I did not know this, but the steel band that went around the wagon wheels, the Indians actually peeled off that steel, flattened it out, cut it out, sharpened it, literally made arrowheads. I thought that was pretty cool. Shows how resourceful, how smart they were, and their ability to also stay with the times and the technology. And they were using things to make their life easier, you know, instead of sitting and grinding out some stone for 8 hours. So, again, this is gonna be pretty sick once this thing is done. I've seen numerous videos over the last few years on stuff, and like I said, I started watching about this Atlatl deal and became very intrigued with it. And my dog Max literally just shot the video, so let me try to fix that for you. Thanks, Max. He is he's not a big camera dog, and apparently now he's trying to sabotage the video, you know. Normally he wants to be like on the camera. Had a cat also, Luna. She is like a movie star. If you're making a YouTube video, you know, she's gonna be right in the middle of there, just like all the other dogs, you know, I have. So Max I've had about 12 years, Australian Shepherd. He is an amazing dog. If you're gonna be off the grid or needing a buddy, between being a guard dog and now he just burped. Come here, buddy. Max, say hi to the people, man. Tell everybody hi. They're this way. They're the other way. There they are. Yeah. Now you're right center stage, buddy. Yeah, he's an old man now, old and crabby. He likes to eat, sleep, and then eat and sleep some more. He's a real good boy. Had him. I rescued him, or he rescued me, whichever way you want to look at it. I was actually a police chief, and he was abandoned, lost, dumped off when he was probably less than a year old. He was really small, really skinny, and now he's heavier. He's all gray, really lovable guy, big on attention, real lover. Yeah, not a mean bone in his body. So again, on these Atlatl weapons, extremely accurate, extremely powerful, handheld, hand aimed, hand thrown, whatever. I could make numerous videos on this, as you know, but the Atlatl, for those of you who do not know, is like a 2-foot long, primitive, handheld deal from about here back to here. And it looks like it's literally getting ready to storm. So you have this deal that goes up, and then you can run through some type of little spike deal, whether you use a nail, a limb, or antler tine. And then your spear is going to rest on the back of here, on top, and then you're gonna notch a hole in the back of the dart, and this thing is going to hold it like this. It's going to go in there, and I believe there's going to be like a little mini stand thing that this thing rests on. So I got to look at that again. But then you're going to have this the right length for you. It's going to be about yay big. Obviously this is not going to be there. And then you're going to aim, and then you're going to flip that dart. So it's like a flipping, a snapping motion. Has a lot of momentum to it, I'm sure. And it can easily kill a deer or a person for hunting, or like a, you know, some primitive combat scenario. I'm not sure if there was a lot of fighting done with those. I think it was obviously made for hunting, but it is one of those things where, of course, if you're in a pinch, I'm sure somebody would not want to have an Atlatl dart 3 foot long flying at them. So to me, everybody's caught up in night vision, thermals, plate carriers, guns, knives, ammo, handguns, bug out trucks, bug out, you know, truck guns, all the gear basically. Being a gear nerd, spending money on things you're never going to use and train with, and not knowing how to make, doing anything from scratch. And honestly, I feel like it's one of those things where we do everything in reverse. It's easy. Anyone can buy a gun and shoot it. Anyone can buy anything and just start trying to learn how to use it. But to start from scratch and make a fire from scratch, make a shelter from scratch, a lean-to, purify water, forage, find or grow food, kill an animal with something you made or a trap. If you can do that, then you can do anything then. But again, most people don't even go out with the stuff, this gear that they buy, let alone do something like this. And to me, that's the ultimate test, is when you have to make something and then use it. Because not only does it hone your skills, if you're lost or have to survive or some apocalyptic scenario, then you are going to have supreme confidence. And I'm literally getting eaten alive. You know, maybe next time I make a video, just for the sake of you guys watching, even though I hate bug spray, I'm starting to really think it sounds like a great idea right now. So they say to be careful when you're hitting these little deal where the limbs were, almost like those knots in the wood there, because that kind of goes in deep. So you don't want to get too into the wood, and you don't want to also, when you're taking this bark off, dig down in and create a gouge, a split, weaken it. So what I try to do is, this knife just is so good on cutting wood, I try to put it up flush against the wood and then just kind of go straight down. So you just actually took that off, and now it's pretty straight. I can sand these down with something as well, but this curves down here, so that's not going to be of any use for the Atlatl dart. I want this thing straight. I'm just skinning this down all the way, but more just something to do while I talk and make this video. I'll also, not sure how much of that, which section I'm going to end up keeping most of it, but only 3 feet's what we're going to use. So I actually have the bow inside. I cut out yesterday, and I've already trimmed the bark off of it, and that's actually going to be for the bow that it's about 6 foot long, like a recurve style bow, and you know, or survival, bushcraft, whatever you want to call it. Something, again, I'm going to try to get it to where it has a 55 to 60 pound, at least on the minimum side of the draw weight, because as you hunters know, to kill a deer or to be lethal, I think the minimum is 55 pound draw weight. I was watching something interesting on YouTube, a documentary that Genghis Khan and those guys, they had bows and their draw weights were 150 pound draw weight. 150. I don't think I've ever even pulled back a bow with that kind of power. I mean, that's a bow that would like shoot through anything. So Anyways, guys, this here, Atlatl dart, literally took me 0 time to make this. You could literally make an Atlatl, make 6 or 10 of these deals here. Of course, you gotta, if you don't have it, where you got it, you know, whatever, edged weapon like a flint knapped rock, steel, some type of spear tip, arrowhead on the end, you can sharpen this down, fire harden it, and you have it just a sharpened wood. So that's it, guys. If you have any questions, or if you can pass on any knowledge to me, because I'm just getting started in this, you would help me excel greatly. Thanks for watching.